What kind of mother would do that to her son? Turn him into a prostitute so you could pretend to be something more than what you are, which is nothing more than a Philly whore. You're a big ol' they're making your son out to be, that's for sure. Truth is, she wasn't nothing but a dealer's whore. That's all she ever was.
What's bothering me is that being a celebrity sometimes comes with, like, everybody wants to be successful in a celebrity and stuff like that, but it comes with, you know, bullshit sometimes, and, you know, that's the only thing that I hate about it.
Delays settle in. Jaguar Wright is back and stronger than ever. She recently revealed how Bryshere Gray was harassed by Diddy and Will Smith until he was compelled to leave Hollywood. Jaguar has already expressed her disapproval of Diddy's manipulation of Bryshere into becoming his low-rent freak toy. But this time, she named Bryshere's mother and offered even more incriminating proof. Was it true that Diddy bought Bryshere Gray from his head mother for cash? Andrea Mayberry and his previous manager, Charlie Mack, even went so far as to claim that there was a recording of Justin Bieber, Bryshere, and Diddy arguing because they sold him off to Diddy and allowed Bryshere to be used as a slave. Even more ridiculous is the fact that Bryshere tried to sue Diddy and Will for $50 million at the beginning of the year, but they were able to reach him before the complaint could be made public, forcing him to remain silent.
He needs prayer. I don't even know what's going on.
They trying to slay him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists.
Allow me to briefly explain how Bryshere came to be a part of Diddy's circle in the first place. Charlie Mack found him when he was 17 years old, took him under his wing, and ended up managing his potential. Bryshere was lucky enough to be offered a last-minute tryout for the RO of Hakeem Lion and Empire, which he eagerly accepted. Later, Bryshere was chosen to perform the part once the show debuted and grew popular. Charlie then thought it would be a good idea to coach Bryshere and help him develop as an actor by introducing him to Will Smith. But Bryshere also wanted to be a musician, so Charlie helped him connect with Diddy to advance his musical endeavors. But as everyone knows, Diddy didn't give things away, and by the time the mentorship ended, Bryshere had been betrayed, handed around, and utterly ignored. Because they wrongly thought Diddy and Will were sincerely trying to help this youngster, many people were ignorant at the time of how troubling all these industry ties were. Instead, they just intended to turn him out and use his body to satisfy their perverted cravings. Jaguar Williams was the first to speak Bryshere's concerns and confront the matter in public. She stated that Diddy and Will were only using the mentorship program as a front to get these young men to attend freakout sessions. Pretending to be going to assist these guys become famous, all they did was subject them to freakout sessions lasting an hour, leaving them drenched in baby oil. She went so far as to bring up the incident after one of these freakout sessions when Bryshere and Meek Mill supposedly rushed screaming out of Will's house.
They do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Gray, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
Jaguar also said that Will had toyed with his own 15-year-old son, Jaden, at the same time. Jaguar claims that Jaden fled Will's house before he turned 18 for this reason.
In that interview, he said a lot. He said a lot.
He said everything but the thing that was important. That he know that Will Smith, Jaden, he Bryshere and he Meek Mills, and you know it, Bilal.
Since Bryshere's life has been nothing but misery since leaving Hollywood, Jaguar was not lying when she said that Diddy was playing with him. As we speak, he's even taken to sharing his body with anybody and everyone for a change, including indulging in homosexual porn. It's absurd to think that he was among Hollywood's top emerging performers just a few years ago. These days, he indulges in illegal drug use and sells his body online. Furthermore, during the years, he has encountered a great deal of legal troubles, many of which he had no business getting into. For example, in 2022, he was convicted of aggravated violence against a woman he was having an affair with. Still, this was not his first legal run-in at the time. In 2020, a man saved his wife when she went to a neighboring gas station in need of assistance. She reported to the authorities that Bryshere had groped her repeatedly till she passed out and had strangled her. He would not come out of his residence when the police came to take him into custody. The SWAT team members had to bargain with him for hours before he agreed to leave the house, and when his mug photographs were released, people couldn't help but note how different he appeared. At this point, people started to put everything together and recognized how much the industry had hurt him.
Of Bryshere Gray, one of the stars of the hit show Empire. Tonight we're seeing hours of new video from his July arrest that ended with his wife flagging down police and telling them the actor had assaulted her for hours inside their Goodyear home. The bizarre jailhouse interview lasting for 2 hours as they try to piece together a chaotic chain of events.
Regarding Jaguar, she wasn't done leaking information about what Diddy had done to Bryshere because, in a recent heated interview with Real Life Productions, she revealed even more details about how the whole thing came to pass, despite the fact that Bryshere is an adult who takes full responsibility for his own actions. Charlie Mack was aware of what Diddy and Will were doing, and it turns out that the whole affair was premeditated. Actually, Andrea Mayberry, Bryshere's mother, was also implicated. She handed Diddy her child in return for a check. Jaguar went on to say that Bryshere's adulterous mother, Andrea, had allowed her son to go through all of these horrible experiences because she planned to exploit his pain to write a book that no one would ever read and use that to change things.
Here's Mom. I'ma kick you in your and then I'ma go to work North Philly style, bitch. Fuck you. And Charlie, you happy now? He's a gay porn star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell? I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life and what you had to do with it. You see, I'm sorry.
Jaguar also revealed that Andrea had lately come up to her and begged for help with Bryshere. Since Charlie Mack was the one introducing Bryshere to Diddy and his will, she had recommended Andrea to take Bryshere out of Charlie Mack. However, Andrea had done nothing but allow Diddy and his will to keep torturing her son and making him engage in strange activities.
To me and begged me for my help. I told her to get the away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere, to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago State to be ready for filming. She knew she knew what Will did to him. But because of Charlie, see? And Charlie had promised her all kinds of things. And all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television, when the truth is she wasn't nothing but a drug dealer's. That's all she ever was. She went from drug dealer to drug dealer, and then she snitched on whoever she needed to snitch on until she could get to the bigger bag, until she got with Larry Lair, my friend who raised Bryshere in $1 million home. Your whole book is lies, Andy, and I hope anybody that bought it asks for a refund and demands it comes out of your pocket every time they see your sons.
Jaguar went on to say that they were behind Bryshere's new venture in homosexual corn because they wanted people to think he was crazy for suing Diddy and that no one would take him seriously since they wouldn't think he was a stable enough mental. You are all aware of the classic Hollywood ploy they employ on all of their victims, convincing the public that individuals are crazy. Jaguar even went so far as to claim that there was a covert recording of Justin Bieber, Jaden Diddy, and Brady acting irrationally.
Trying to slay him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists. I really hope none of that baby oil was used on those kids. That would just be in bad taste. Baby oil on babies.
You can't say that the flavor camp was sponsored by Johnson & Johnson. You just come on. Come on.
Starting to sound that way, ain't it?
No.
All that talent. And she let Charlie tune that boy up on knowing that he was bipolar and had ADHD. What kind of mother would do that to her son? Turn him into a prostitute prostitute so you could pretend to be something more than what you are, which is nothing more than a Philly whore. You're a big ol' and they're making your son out to be, that's for sure. Because he didn't have no choice. You was down by all. I'm sorry, the Bryshere conversation for me is not easy. Because I came to Belial and I asked Belial to help me save the kids, and all he was worried about was his book. Don't nobody care about these kids. Don't nobody care about these kids.
For the benefit of those who are curious about the lawsuit that Jaguar is talking about, there were reports circulating a few months before Bryshere began his career that he was preparing to launch a $50 million lawsuit against Diddy. The following blind item revealed this. I suspect the soon-to-step-forward male victim of sexual assault by this A-list mogul will not be the last man to do so, Shan Diddy Khan. But just before the legal action was purportedly made public, Bryshere suddenly withdrew and started selling his OS cheeks. He definitely had second thoughts, but unless he gets the courage to tell us everything, we might never know. Bryshere Gray's downfall is sad as hell. There's no reason in the world I should open up Twitter, and the first thing I see is him throwing his cheeks back, was one of the comments expressed by individuals as usual. Looking at Bryshere Gray breaks my heart. The music business utterly ruined him, Diddy, and it took a toll on him. Just wow, this is another. A depressing tale of how mentoring has turned dangerous in Hollywood. Someone close to Bryshere Gray claims that prayers and thoughts about Diddy would break Bryshere and expose him. Do you believe that Charlie Mack and his mother actually sold him out? Please tell me in the space provided for comments below. Also, don't forget to click this link to view this other extremely clumsy film. What you've done in the dark will be exposed by the light.